Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new episode of the Skylanders Carryon Locke Humor channel. Today is the debut of the Superchargers portion of the Carryon Locke, which means that we need to pick out a brand new representative of each of the original 8 elements, and as per the norm we're going to be determining what those new representatives are going to be based on complete and utter random chance. I have a random name reel for each of the 8 original elements, from which we will choose a random character to be the brand new representative of that respective element. And then as for our 9th slot, we have either a light or a dark representative, and since Superchargers has only one for each of those, that means it can be either Nightfall or Astroblast, one or the other. That is a 50-50 chance at either character. Frankly, I would prefer pretty much any of the Superchargers cast over the 2 of them, but if I had to pick one over the other, I am having my fingers crossed here for Astroblast, but hopefully now, having done that, it won't have changed my fate whatsoever for this series. Now, obviously, for Superchargers, any Skylanders who were carried over from Trap Team who now have a revamped Supercharged form, they now get to upgrade to said form, and that applies to Trigger Happy, Terrafin, and Jetpack, who have now all became supercharged. So we have Double Dare Trigger Happy, Sharpshooter Terrafin, and Hurricane Jetpack to be enjoying. If they are defeated in battle, then they revert to their original forms. Any character with an original form who is defeated in battle, they are either A, classed as dead and cannot be used throughout the remainder of the lock, or B, if they have a miniaturized version of themselves, then they downgrade to the mini version. And only when a mini is defeated in battle is the Skylander class as dead and cannot be used again throughout the remainder of the series. The mini is sort of their final stand, a last-ditch effort for that character to remain, so to speak. And we have a lot of characters in this series who have their miniaturized versions, and we could be generating even more from our random name wheel here today. So without further ado, let's start with the magic element and find out who our brand new representative is going to be. And I'm also going to turn off the volume on my laptop before it starts echoing in the background. The random name picker can't help itself. It just has to pick Spyro's Adventure characters for Magic Element. We have Double Trouble, which was the last remaining Magic Skylander from Spyro's Adventure. So that rounds out the cast. We have 4 Spyro's Adventure characters and then Deja Vu just kind of thrown in the mix in between. So Double Trouble is going to be our brand new magic representative, but as for Tech, on the other hand, let's spin that wheel and find out who it's going to be. Now, Superchargers does usher in some brand new rules for us to follow. We're going to get into them once we get into the game itself, but for now we're going to continue picking our random characters for each of these elements, and in Tech's case, we have Magna Charge being added to the cast. I am so excited about that. Magna Charge is an awesome swapper, and I was really hoping for more swappers to be added to the cast so that then we could adhere much more to the swapper rules that we obviously explained in Trap Team, where when an elemental switch occurs, I have to swap out either a top or a bottom half for the swapper, depending upon which half was swapped first. So in other words, the top can only remain for 2 areas, and then the bottom half remains for 2 areas also. Now, Scorp, continuing with the Swap Force theme for the Earth element over here. That's very exciting. He's definitely one of the better Earth characters, but really, Earth was the only element that I have the least most concern about. Like, how good the Earth character is doesn't matter all too much. That element is busted in terms of how many characters are left and how many lives there are between them. For Undead, we get Funny Bone, so it's nice to have another Trap Team core, so they can truly be appreciated. They're easily the most underrated group of the entirety of the Skylanders cast. So, for Water, stop! Oh, it was so close to Gilgrunt! I really wanted Gilgrunt because then we would have been able to immediately upgrade to Deep Dive Gilgrunt rather than instead of having Base Chill, and if Base Chill is defeated in battle, well, we start at her original, so she'll be classed as dead and won't be able to be used throughout the remainder of the lock. So her, Funny Bone, and Double Trouble have no additional lives to be backed on. It's unfortunate, actually, but we did get a Magna Charge, so we got to stay positive yet. There's still 3 more elements to randomly generate the characters for. And in Air's case, we're going to have another Trap Master. Now, we really needed another Trap Master because all 3 Trapmaster's got defeated during the run of Trap Team, so to have another one added to the cast is great for the representation of Trapmasters as a whole. Gusto is representing his fellow Traptanian warriors. Then for Fire, looks like we're going to have another Spice Adventure representative. The random name wheel just really loves the Spice Adventure characters because we have Flameslinger for a fire element. Now that I'm very excited about because he's a fast-paced character going into a fast-paced game. Superchargers is all about the vehicle gameplay and the fast-paced gameplay. Now come on! Life is going to give us another swapper. It's going to be interesting to continue to adhere to, obviously, all of the swapper rules in play. So, unfortunately, Random Name Picker has chosen no brand new superchargers. Luckily, that's about to change because Astro Blast or Nightfall is going to be representative for the 10 new superchargers introduced into this game, and then we have 3 others left over that are the revamped superchargers from characters carried forward from Trap Team. But at least we're getting Astro Blast. So it's a 50-50 chance of getting the lesser of 2 evils. So I am very happy to be having Astro Blast being added to the cast rather than Nightfall. And just like that, we've rounded out our cast. We've added 1 new representative to each of the 8 original elements, and we've chosen what our new light or dark representative is going to be. And now, with all of them having been selected, let us jump into Skylander Superchargers without further ado. And here we are, officially at the gameplay portion of the debut of the Skylander Superchargers portion of the carryon locks. Without further ado, I'm going to press that X button right there, and we're going to get into the game, to which I have a brand new save file. So obviously we need to accept all of that garbage, and we're just going to hit no for now because that's not something we need to worry about. But what we are going to do is that Superchargers has a unique feature to where Nightmare Mode is unlocked right from the get-go. So obviously we can select that without having to have played through the game beforehand. And that's great because now we can go through this in a completely brand new save and not have any of our buffs from the Portal Master rank up system, because that would be cheating. We can't possibly have that. But what we can have is an explanation of the rules I was alluding to earlier pertaining to supercharged combinations. So, the usual rules still stick in this portion of Carryon Lock. Whenever an element of the area pops up and must help the Skylander correspond to the element, and I cannot swap out again until the element of the area changes once more. If a Skylander is defeated by a class instead, it can't be used again for upgrade of Lock, but that's only if the character it had was their original form. If an upgraded version of the Skylander is defeated, they simply revert back to that original form before being classed as dead. Now, Hugo really needs to shut up because I'm too busy explaining it when I take a vehicle right here. So, what vehicles I use do not matter. However, I can swap out vehicles between vehicle sessions if I so please. However, once a vehicle is put into a... I need to turn Hugo, I need to mute him off, he's just annoying me too much. Let's say, when a vehicle is placed onto the portal for a land vehicle section, because those are the only sections we need to play through, the sea and sky sections, much like how they are in the game, for this playthrough, they are completely optional. Now, land vehicles can be swapped out between vehicle sections, but once a vehicle goes into a vehicle section, they must complete that vehicle section in its entirety, and they cannot be swapped out, except for in one instance, and this goes for like regular gameplay sections of the levels as well. I can overrule an elemental area if I use a supercharged combination. That's right, a supercharged combination can be utilised at any point I wish. Doesn't matter which vehicle went into the land vehicle section. It doesn't matter if we're halfway through a land vehicle section or we're halfway through an elemental section on the kind of on foot gameplay. I can swap out whenever I like to a supercharged combination to overrule the current element of the area. And as for the land vehicle sections themselves, it doesn't matter what land vehicle I use, so long as the Skylander corresponds to the current element of the area. It doesn't matter the specific vehicle at hand. So yes, that was quite the mouthful to explain. It was made even more harder by Hugo's lack of skill at shutting up. So now we're finally going to do as he pleases, or as he's asking of us, I should say. And we're going to place our Shark Tank onto the portal power. Now we're choosing the Shark Tank specifically because if I wanted to, no matter what the element of the area is going to be when we load in, I could swap out the Shark Tank at any time, and therefore, because he is supercharged, he overrules the current element of the area. However, superchargers, and I could be wrong in saying this, but the element of the areas are chosen at random. However, it's more likely that an element of the area comes up if you play as Skylanders of that element more frequently. It's kind of like Cookies Online, how they tailor ads to whatever it is you have been looking into on the internet. So, if that's the case, Air and Earth are by far the elements in this series that have the best cast of characters at the moment. They have the highest number of lives, and neither of them have lost a single character yet. They've lost lives along the way, such as Earth has lost Nightcore Flashbang and Knockout Terrafin. Air has lost multiple iterations of Jetpack, but a original character is yet to have been defeated in either of those elements. So naturally, we want Earth and Air to appear for most in this series, and I think we're going to have the best odds of that occurring if we use a Swap Force combination that possesses both elements that we're looking for. So without further ado, let's get 3 rounds onto that portal, and we're going to see just how well a chicken can drive. Well, half chicken, half grill, I suppose. But now, with Hugo having shut up, I suppose I can increase the volume headset going into my ears. You know, I have no more need of 100% concentration to explain the rules. Now I can just commentate as I always do, which basically means 90% tip ratio and over 10% is silence. I feel like how Disney owns 90% of the planet and the rest of water. So here we go. I don't usually play through this as an Earth vehicle, because the fire vehicles can triple the value of our gear bits just by boosting, whereas for the shark tank we can only do it by drifting. You know what? That makes this a lot more skillful, and I'm okay with that, showcasing my vehicle skills as I lose complete and utter control of the shark tank right there, and miss those gear bits too. This is what pure skill looks like. And what can I say? All I'm doing is mimicking Flynn, and Flynn is the greatest pilot in all Skylanders, so clearly there is something right. Oh, that's a bit uncool. Flynn, why would you do that, man? Yeah, here I am saying that I can actually concentrate on what I'm saying now, still with Hugo constantly blabbering in my ear. No, I can't at all. I'm going to need to put my headset volume down again. I can't hear myself think with Hugo constantly blabbering, and here I was thinking that my blabbering was bad. No, Flynn, don't you dare. Oh, he dared, and now we're even further behind. Thank you for nothing, you useless Flynn. But yes, just to reiterate, I can use any land vehicle at any time. However, once I start a land vehicle section with a specific land vehicle, that land vehicle is locked in until the end of the vehicle section. However, I can swap land vehicles between vehicle sections. That way, I go back to a full armor set on my land vehicles. It's going to be particularly useful for levels like Land of the Undead or Realm of the Undead. Who cares what the level's called? Either way, it's a threat because Count Moneybone exists. Now, in those land vehicle sections, the only thing that matters is if the Skylander corresponds to the current element of the area. But even then, I can override that rule by placing onto the portal power a supercharged combination, and I can do this at any time if I need to swap for whatever reason. So, even in the midst of a on-foot section, if I want to swap out, then I can do so by placing onto the portal in place of whatever Skylander is currently on the portal power. I can replace them with a supercharged combination. Oh, good for him, I suppose. Yeah, Count Moneybone, not really the most ethical warden. It's kind of like the prison guards in Shawshank Redemption all over again, because they were the true villains of that movie, don't you know? So let's grab all that treasure right there. Not that the free browser was in desperate need of it. He does have almost 10,000 treasure. That's 5 digits right there. That's a lot of digits to go around. Okay, let's kill them all. Yes, and then we can drill underground also, because I'm good with this character apparently, and you know, I know how to push the circle button, so by default that makes me good with this character. No other skills required. Okay, let's destroy some stuff right here, but this isn't a 100% playthrough, so we're not going to worry about all the supercharged chests. We're not going to worry about all of the vehicle sections. As we mentioned already, that the sea and sky sections are optional, exactly as the game had intended. So naturally, I'm not going to take risks where it's not needed, such as, for example, fighting Master Giant Chompy for the supercharger Volt Finger Bob. Boom! And he's out of here. free routes are as busted even in superchargers. Several games later where, you know, the more games a Skylander cycles through, the worse and worse they get, especially if you're a swapper. They were great in Swap Force, they got a little bit worse in Trap Team, a little bit worse in superchargers, and then in Imaginators is not even worth using. So let's skip over that unnecessary deep to do right there, as we always do. Free routes was about to behave very strangely, to say the least. Very unintentionally. I could dare even go as far to say, oh, that's not got collision? No, I'm disappointed. I just can't phase through the gate right now. I was really looking forward to standing on top of that gate. For no reason whatsoever, really. I just was, end of story. Yeah, this is great. We could be quiet and let Hugo explain this, but no, we're not going to do that, actually. Not going to do that at all. There we go. We have hit the ignition key. Ignite the engine. I'm not going to apologise for seeing right there. Also, for putting on the channel name, I'm not going to apologise for that neither. So here we are. Let's head into the brightness ahead. We've escaped. Only to press the best weapon of the game. A first skip button here at Motley Meadows with another pinata. Yes, I didn't just Skylanderify it because obviously it is a pinata, but you know what? A pinata in the Skylanders verse is a pinata.
Wait a second,
The villain's name and all that. He is playable in this game via the Land Racing Trophy, I believe. The hardest band one to get. It costs more than Double Dare Trick Happy's regular version. In fact, regular Gold Rush and regular Trick Happy you can probably get for cheaper than the Land Racing Trophy. Don't ask me why, they all came in the same pack, so they all have the same, you know, supply. Which is low, by the way. They were not very well stocked. Without further ado, let's begin in this vehicle section without further ado. Yeah, baby. Take out some copies because they deserve it. It'll be funny, no other reason. You know what? Free Rouser wasn't yet at 10,000 treasure, but for Shark Tank on the other hand, it is well over 10,000 gear bits. Wow, that was more gear bits than it does money in my bank, and I'm kind of a little bit jealous over it. I'm jelly. Or Jello, I suppose, if I was to be American. I'm not American now, so... Jello we are not, simply jelly we are. Even though Americans have jelly too, it's just what we call jam, as opposed to, you know, Jello which we call jelly. Not confusing at all.
Iron equalizer.
Not the iron equalizer! Anything but the iron equalizer! That thing terrifies me. Okay, unfortunately this thing does not have much mobility. Luckily for us it more than makes up for it with sheer power and armour as well. This thing can tank some hits, quite literally too. I mean, it is a tank. Kind of worthless if it didn't do that at least. It's like the Funk Truck, not very manoeuvrable, but boy can that thing take a hit as well as it can dish them out. You know, it's one thing if the vehicle can dish out punishment, it's another thing if it can take it. So we're happy with the controls, as janky as they are, and the vehicle mods, they're unlocked at random, and by random it means whatever vehicles you use most commonly it gives you the mods for first, much like how the elemental sections in the game works. It operates with more chances of the things you actually use rather than being totally random. Okay, that's one way to ride on the edge, I guess. Yeah, them choppies ain't getting me. So how about this time we actually get the vehicle mods? That sounds like a plan to me. We have the double threaded track. Now unfortunately we can't even equip the vehicle mods because we're not utilising a supercharger right now. What we could do, if we wish to, is swap out for Shock Show Terrapin. We can do that at any time we please, so long as it's a supercharged combination. And that also goes to the Sky vehicles, because obviously we have Astroblast and Hurricane Jetpack available to us. They're both Sky pilots, however, as opposed to, you know, drivers of land vehicles. So those guys, obviously, we can't utilise to overhaul a land vehicle section, but we can utilise them in regular on-foot combat. It's going to be really useful if one of our Skylanders gets low, to the point of the next hit defeating them. but it's not like the on-foot gameplay is a threat in Superchargers. What I'm mainly worried about going through here is losses in the land vehicle sections, which is why I'm glad we can swap out between land vehicle sections. It's going to be particularly useful for Ride Apocalypse Demolition Derby, because obviously that goes through 3 phases, and each phase we can use a different land vehicle. I'm pretty sure that level doesn't even have elemental buff, so we can play as whatever vehicle, whatever kind of combination we please between phases. Very particularly useful that. Okay, here we go. Let's continue boosting away. I love how fast-paced these sections get, with just how easily you can chain drifts. Very fun indeed. I say that, you know, not many people like the vehicle sections. I think the vehicle sections are highly underrated, but that's not to say I think they should be mandatory. If every vehicle section in this game was optional, including the land ones, this would be an infinitely better game for it. But instead, you have to play through the land vehicle sections, which, yes, of course, they're fast-paced, and they keep the game at a fast pace, and the gameplay is constantly refreshing. It does take away a lot of replay value, because the land vehicle sections were really only good the first time. They do get very repetitive. There's only so much you can do with the same setup, and it doesn't help that the gameplay is very janky because it's combat orientated. Why, if you're going to introduce vehicles in Skylanders, are you going to make it combat orientated? If you're going to change it up, change it in its entirety, commit, give us racing segments. Imagine how much more better this point A to point B would be if we had like other people on the track with us, if we had opponents who have to beat. And then you could be racing for the sake of an advantage, you know, maybe take Monstrous Isles for example. If you race a bunch of enemies and you win, then you reduce the health bar of the boss fight. That's already what happens with Beachcomber. You complete the C section and you reduce her health bar, which, you know, actually isn't much of an advantage because you tend to get hit so much in that C section that for damage you decrease Beachcomber by isn't worth it. Instead, you're better off taking low risk and getting high rewarded for it because you don't tackle the C section. You don't get unnecessary damage inflicted upon you from said section. And it's funny how so far we've collected 2 soul gems, both of which are for the air superchargers, and we're obviously previewing Hurricane Jetpack over here, you know, get a taster of what's to come with this character. The superior version of Jetpack. So, unfortunately, a superior version of Jetpack is still Jetpack. Magic element, you say? Well, let's usher in the brand new representative of Magic Elements. For the first time in the Carryon series, I present you with Double Trouble, the best Magic Skylander of all time. You can at me on that. So, unfortunately, this is this lame Series 1 version. That's at level 5. So, as good as the Series 2 and as upgraded as the Series 2, he is not. I missed his wow power. Okay, let's get over here. Let's try not to die. Luckily for us, we do get attack damage thanks to magic being stronger here. That is very convenient right now. I'm not even sure if this guy has his tertiary attack. He does not, so I think he doesn't have any upgrades to his name. But fortunately, Superchargers deals damage, much like Swap Force, based on your health bar, your maximum health bar, that is. So, Double Trouble here on Nightmare Mode can take 3 hits, no matter whether he has 350 health or 800 health. You know, for damage the enemies inflict upon you specifically is dependent upon what your maximum health was to begin with. Okay, we can pop down here for a Skylanders match actually. We're not going to worry about the Skylanders match because I'm here purely for this Supercharger Vault. We can earn some treasure, maybe some experience. Most of which this guy desperately needs. High Vault! Well, we are just collecting soul gems left, right and centre. This would be exceptional like legwork right now if we were in the midst of a Soul Seeker series. But you know, this is not a Soul Seeker series. The purpose of this series is not to go around seeking souls, and neither is it to play Skystone's Overdrive, which when Skylander Superchargers originally leaked, that was the name it went by. Skylanders Overdrive, obviously that wasn't his name. And Spitfire and Hot Streak were leaked at one point, but Hot Streak had the name Hot Steak instead, which is actually the name of an Overdrive Skystone. It makes me wonder if after those leaks, like, they changed a few things. They changed their game's name, they changed Hot Steak into Hot Streak, and turned it into a Skystone instead as kind of like a reference to that leak. But really, Skylanders Superchargers was the only time where a Skylanders game leaked early. Like, yes, there were elements of Skylanders games that leaked early, like the Light and Dark elements in Track Team. They leaked before they were officially announced. But the game itself did not leak early. The game itself was announced when it was intended to be. Die, 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 die. Okay, sweet, we got there eventually. Man, I'm glad to finally usher in the debut of Double Trouble Low. And this guy does have a really cool jumping attack, something that was obviously missing in Swap Force. The only character that could jump in mid-air in Swap Force was Starstrike. Now every character from Track Team onwards has a in-air ability, so I can jump out of the way of enemies and still attack them with my primary beam, which still locks onto enemies. Plus, you saw me go through that little duct right there. That buffs up your starters just like how it buffs up the enemies, so that's convenient. We got quick buff for Double Trouble right there. We're not even going to worry or concern ourselves so much with these spark blocks. Obviously, the more we rank up, the better, because we do get buffs along the way. We aren't quite at 75 with the maximum amount of buffs when we put max rank ups. You know what? I'd rather skip over these as quickly as possible over collect these spark blocks, no matter how many buffs they have for us. So we did get an XP gain, and already you can see that going into effect on Double Trouble with him being halfway through level 6 already. That's convenient. We didn't forget to go all the way to the right there to get the Supercharger Vault, but that is no big deal. Life Element. Okay, we are really lackluster on Life Element characters at the moment as well, unfortunately. We only have 3 lives to go around. That's a high five. But then there's also, of course, Stink Bomb and Smith Boom to back him up. 3 for 3. Kind of funny how we select free Rouser in hopes that it's going to increase the chances of Earth and Air popping up. And so far, not a single Earth or Air elemental switch has been made. So here we have a Skystone at long last, Sharp Fin. We're not going to add him to our deck because we aren't even going to bother playing Skystone's Overdrive as a charging through series. We don't have to, I don't wanna, so we won't be doing any of that jazz. Okay, but what we will be doing is grabbing this treasure chest over here, even though the treasure chest doesn't have treasure inside it. It has another Skystone. Why Superchargers behaves in weird ways like this, I will not understand, not ever. But Superchargers is definitely one of the more unique Skylanders experiences as a result of all the shenanigans you see on screen before you. I don't care, we're not playing the Sky section because I don't find the Sky section very fun, and why would I tackle an unfun Sky section when instead we have this this fun vehicle section to deal with, and Earth is stronger here, so let's take High Five off of the portal and replace them with a little bit of Series 2 Bash, because this character has 3 lives remaining, his Series 1 and his mini afterwards, much like how Terrafin has his original, which is his Elite form, so that's never going to fucking die, and even after that, we have Terabyte. Oh, Earth is in such a ridiculously advantageous situation right now, it's not even funny. Oh, I could do one swapping out the vehicle actually, because already the Sharp Tank is his armor has seen better days. But you know what? The section is over and done with, so worry about that. We do not even have to. And boom, just like that, Rift to Skylanders is being complete. So I will roll that outro, and next week I will be back for the Cloud Breathers Crag. Thank you so much for watching through to the end of this video. I deeply appreciate every last one of you, since it's viewers such as yourself which make these videos possible, and I couldn't do it without all of your unwavering support. If you enjoyed what you just saw, you can click on screen now to watch either my most recent video or a video picked out specifically just for you. You can also access the entire playlist for the video you just watched. I'll be seeing you in the next video, but until that moment arises, peace!